Yeah, no, I think it might be me. I think it.
I wasn't here like for 75% of the last session.
Oh, from my character's perspective, um, we were traveling, and I noticed shadows in the forest, to which we got ambushed. Yeah, ambushed by goblins and wolves and a very big, scary wolf. I proceeded to Dark Souls dodge while everybody else woke up to the fact we were getting raided for a round, which was interesting. Um, I then watched I can't remember his name. Pal. That's right, Pal and Larry. I watched Pal get absolutely eviscerated by an arrow. Um, and then we finished up the goblins. We decided that it's best that we leave no witnesses, and proceeded to immediately go to the goblin camp. Once we saw that we were there, we devised a plan. We had me and Marza were stealthy, and like the special agents that we are, we eliminated the two watchtowers. Um, from there, we moved down to help the rest of the group, who were not really struggling. Well, Igvis was down. Igvis was definitely down. I went up to distract people long enough for Elias to get close to Igvis. But then I went down. Um, then from there, my character didn't reveal I was down, but from there, the rest of the team cleared out the rest of the goblins. Honed was an absolute champion of the wall, and held them there for a long enough time for us to recoup and then take the rest of them. Um, and then that's where we left off, with everybody murdered, with all the goblins murdered, and we hadn't quite finished looking at the camp. Think I got everything?
Yeah, I think you got
Forgot
everything.
Oh, I forgot.
Alyssa
Oh,
and the
wait.
child.
There was one. There was, yeah. I forgot that we helped someone through a pregnancy, and then I cut the umbilical cord that was strangling said baby, and watched Elias and I believe Marza make sure that Alyssa lived through the pregnancy.
Yeah,
That was
forget that. Can't forget that part. I mean, that's the part that gave you all inspiration for this session.
Yeah, no, I complete. I was more
Yay.
worried. I was more worried about the slaughter of my kind, more than I was about the birth of one child. But that's okay.
Awesome. Well, great recap. I'm going to go ahead and switch maps here for everybody.
Oh, I forgot how weird this looked.
So hopefully that loads pretty quick for you. So yeah, you ended here after the slaughter of these goblins on a well-fought fight. One goblin did manage to escape, though. So right away, there are two things just to kind of follow up from last session. So first of all, there was a woman in a cage right here when you had originally come there. As you all start looking around after the battle, helping each other to your feet, checking each other's wounds, and then you look back to where that woman was, she is no longer there. She is gone.
Well, good. She got out.
Elias was over there. Did you see anything?
had no chance. I wasn't there long before the goblins got to me.
Nobody saw anything. And when you go over there, the small door, if you would call it, to this cage is still closed, still bound. It doesn't look like there was any physical sign of escape.
Can I check to see if there's any residual magic in the area?
Yeah, do you have detect magic?
Oh, that's right. Okay. I do not. I don't think I have detect magic. No.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to tell if there's any residual magic in the area lingering around. But you're not sure what's going on there.
I mean, it's a cage in the dirt. We should be able to see footprints if there are any, especially considering we're right next to a stream. The ground might be kind of damp, so that might be something somebody wants to look for. I do want to make a point of retrieving my daggers, though. Ones that I threw.
Yeah, Kel wants to do a investigation for tracks or broken limbs or anything that may be around that she may have left leaving.
It might be worth it to let one woman go for the sake of the caravan in this case.
Well, if she was capable enough to getting out of that cage while that was going on, then
Indeed, she seems apt at surviving, whereas we are barely scraping by.
Yeah, I definitely think that if she's important enough for a goblin camp to capture and not kill, I think we should probably find where she went.
there are multiple reasons why goblins would keep people alive. I would prefer not to go into them, but she might. It's very possible she wasn't that special.
Well, it's time for me to.
Yeah, I was going to say the other thing, just while you guys are kind of contemplating that and thinking about that.
Oh, is the cage locked still?
Yes, yes, it is.
Is there like a water bucket or anything nearby?
Well, there's a lot of water, the stream, but there's no specific bucket of water.
Is there like a bucket?
You could find a bucket, yeah.
Alright, Elias is going to fill the bucket with water and dump it in the cage.
Okay.
Like, kind of as a splash effect.
Yeah, you do that, and it goes psh, as it just splashes everywhere. Your mic, by the way, is really loud fuzz in the background there, but yeah, you go ahead and you pick up a bucket of water and you splash it into the cage, and it just splashes everywhere. Nothing else seems to happen, you know, kind of what you would expect from doing that. One thing I would like everybody to do is roll me your choice of perception or investigation.
Is this just like a regular investigation, just like flat?
It is an investigation. Yeah, just a normal investigation check.
Okay, just for things we discussed.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's time for Kel to reveal this.
Hi, Joe.
Did you hear me, DM?
I did. Time for Kel to reveal this. I think that's what you said.
Yeah, so Kel's gonna look to those that's close around him, and he's gonna
Mic cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
He's gonna be really pushy to find this woman, being the fact that a few nights ago he had a very disturbing dream of this woman appearing to need help and be in distress. And being the warrior that he is, he's going to highly suggest that we find this woman because she seems to be very important, not only to myself, but I think she could be very important to the group as well.
I'm just going to start investigating the camp, looking for anything that is valuable.
I'm gonna shrug and be like, do you have any leads? Because it seems like she doesn't want to be found.
Really quick, Marza, go ahead and roll me a D100.
Elias, the forward slash
Is it
first.
going? Okay.
Yeah,
There we
you
go.
have
It
to
was
wait, yeah.
lagging a second.
/W Elias.
Okay, a 33. Okay. You find an interesting potion as you're kind of.
Wait, was that because I said I was I was just going to go investigate the camp?
No, this was kind of as everybody's around the
Oh.
camp gathering up.
Okay.
So
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't because you misheard or something.
no, this is just the role I asked everybody to do. So you find an interesting potion, Marza, and it looks like there's a bottle, and in this bottle is this muddy brown liquid, and as you look at it, there's like little bits of fish scale, and inside the liquid, and a hummingbird tongue, it looks like, and a small cat claw, and a squirrel hair that kind of come into view, floating around in this liquid. And it has this little vortex to it that is just constantly swirling. Looking at it, you definitely believe it to be magical in nature, you would assume, because that's not how potions normally act. But curious.
All right. Could I do an Arcana check on that to see if I know what it is?
Yeah, go ahead and give me
And
an Arcana
would my
check.
background kind of lend anything to that, based on like where I spent a lot of time as a child?
No.
Okay.
While she does that, I do want to cast Detect Magic on where the woman was.
Detect magic, you said? Sorry, Cal, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm actually going to switch over. Hold on one second.
Okay. Yeah, I lost you all for a second on Discord.
I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my headset went out for a second. Okay, I'm sorry. So you are detecting magic, though.
I'm remembering this from last session. I think I'm closest to the king. I would like to loot him. But do detect magic first. I just want to throw that out there. Sorry.
Yes, I do want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. So you cast detect magic. Let me just give Mars something real quick. So you do detect magic, by the way, in the area, lingering magic, and it's lingering conjuration magic. If you want, you can make an Arcana check to see if you recognize what this magical aura might be from, what might have caused it. But
Yeah, I do. I just rolled Arcana.
and I sent you, Mars, a DM. Yeah, so you're pretty confident that it is a teleport spell, the lingering magic from a teleport spell. That is what you notice.
Okay. So she definitely. I don't know, man. That's definitely a little bit confusing because she could be either there of her own will and she just left because of us, or she saw her chance to escape because of us. Wow.
All right. Craggle, you were looting the body of the king. So, Craggle, you loot the king's body, and he does have a crown. So it seems like he has a wooden crown on his head that you could take. It would be a little small for your head, but you could take that if you want.
Should I wear it as a ring?
Too big to be a ring. He also has a scimitar on him that he was attacking you with, and he has a javelin as well that he didn't use, but and a small little pouch of coins. But besides that, nothing else of note.
I'll leave the scimitar. I'll take the coin. Can I put the crown on my arm as like almost like a bracer?
I mean, you can put your hand through it, but it
Yeah,
won't be
that's-
snug on your arm or anything like that, But
Oh, it won't? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
damn.
no.
Never mind. Okay.
Friendship
I'll s-
bracelet?
I was gonna have a trophy, but I'll just keep it for now. Make
Okay.
a trophy out of that later.
sounds
Just
good.
tie it to your belt.
Yeah, something. How much coin?
So there are 21 gold pieces in this pouch.
Sick. Thank you. That's it for me for now.
All right.
I guess there's just the last thing that I said to Cal. Essentially, it doesn't seem like she wants to be found.
With her all right, we should all get back and rest. We aren't going to survive another fight like that.
I will take a moment to walk over to... Did Vadi throw any daggers? I don't think he did.
I didn't throw any daggers. No.
Right. So I'm going to go over to Marza and be like, that was some skilled throwing. And I'm going to hand her 4 more daggers.
Oh, sweet, thanks.
Yeah, so I'm going to take those out of my inventory.
Can I do something real quick? I want to break into the prison that she was in and see if I can find anything that she may have left behind.
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely break into it, and when you just look in there, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing in there. She was the only thing or person in there. And so you, like, break through this barrier to kind of shortcut it, and when you get into there, there's nothing. It's just dirt.
Dang. Okay. Let's go rest, everybody. I guess we'll figure this out later.
Pain, so much pain.
So are we going back to the caravan to rest, or are we trying to rest here is the important question.
We should go back to the caravan.
Yeah, they're unprotected, so I would say let's go back.
Well, Ray is there, but yeah, definitely we should go back.
Is there anything in the anything in the tents of noteworthy?
No, that was kind of that check was just for basically the whole camp. Nothing really worthy. I mean, they all had the scimitars. If you wanted to grab one of those, there's a couple of those, but nothing else of note.
Not to beat a dead horse here, but is there any sign of any ritualistic symbolism?
I don't know.
Or is it literally just a goblin camp?
Literally just a goblin camp.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of here.
I believe I missed the check by 1.
Oh, there's blood. There's blood on the map. There's lots of blood on the map.
Yeah, I am
Oh
not
no, it's like
rendering...
there's a huge fight. That's
I'm
wild.
not rendering the floor. I just have a black screen with carriages on it, which is weird.
It is really weird. Can everybody else see the map?
I can
Yep.
see the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it too.
It's weird
I
that
can see the
This is
blood.
where I came back and hovered over one of the bloodstains, and it was Pal.
it's weird that the actual background isn't rendering for you.
Yeah. I guess I might have to have you describe some things, but I can see the objects, I can see the carriages, I can see the tokens, I can see the blood.
Yeah. So I mean, the map is the map that you were fighting on before with
Right,
the
right.
wolves. So I mean, you arrive back at the. You could always pull up the Twitch too, if you want.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. You just might have to mute it.
Yeah. That might help. But yes, I mean, you get back to the caravan, and everybody is there, packed up. The tree has been removed that was in the way, blocking you from continuing on. People, still a little shaken by the events, Pal's death, the baby that was just born. But everybody seems to be ready to head off. As you walk up there, Marza, you do see, as you pass by Alyssa's caravan, she beckons you over.
All right. Sure.
And as you get over there, she holds her little baby girl in front of you and says, I just want to let you know I've chosen a name for my baby. I have decided to honor you and call her Marza, baby Marza.
Oh. Thanks. I guess. I'm glad I could have that much of an impact.
Yes, you have been
Done.
such a large help for me and have helped me put things in perspective. I'm not sure mentally I could have gone on if not for our talk back at the campsite the other day.
Bro, I'm gonna need you to back off. Sorry, Horace is trying to help with my backstory a little bit. Got a little hag whispering in my ear. It's fun.
Roleplay purposes.
Yes, because now I've barely processed what Alyssa has said.
Yeah,
Alright.
Alyssa's like,
I mean,
you had such a large impact on me. I'm not sure I could have gone on mentally, if not for our conversation the other day. And you're like, listen, you need to back off.
I've just got a voice in my head going, Hey, babies are great for rituals. Take it. Take the baby. Take it. Take the baby. Take it. I'm glad I could help. Mars is kind of just gonna shuffle back and walk off.
Okay. As for everybody else, do you do anything else, or do you pretty much get into your wagons?
Did anybody loot the goblins up on the rock?
Yeah, you went through that last session.
Okay, just checking.
Hey, did I ever get my journal back?
I believe you did.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll say yes. I don't remember exactly the events of 2 sessions ago when you did that, but I'm pretty sure that you got it back.
Okay. I have a small knife in my pack. There's a goblin body, right?
There is. Absolutely.
No, wait. No, wait.
Oh, by the
just
way,
get my-
just to answer Igvish, your question in chat, Honed did reach out to me. He's recovering from the flu, so he wasn't able to make tonight's sessions, but he'll be here next week.
Okay, no worries. I was just curious. I'm like, wait a second. I know we're missing someone.
Yeah. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else they wanted to do or say, I mean, I assume you jump in your wagons.
Back to
So who
reading
wants to
William's
make room for a 7-foot dragonborn?
I mean, you can sit in my car if you want. Because we can have the 2 7-foot people in the same cart. This is the big. This is the big
It's
boy
cool.
cart.
You're just with the halfling, so it'll be fine.
I also have wings.
I'll just
They
smush
take up a lot
down.
of space.
Cool. So Igvis, Kel, Marza, Vati in that one, and Honed and Craggle in the back one. Elias, which one are you going in?
It looks like Elias is indecisive.
I'll just be sitting on top. I'm not even inside of it.
Just flagging a bit. I'm going in the one with Hounded Craggle. Can't have like everybody in one.
We have the. Well, yeah, not with our sizes. I mean, Craggle, Kel, and Vati together in one cart sounds like a problem.
All right. So
Yeah, that's really heavy.
you guys get in your carts, and you head off. You travel for the rest of the day, and thankfully, there are no more goblin attacks, no more attacks of any kind that you have to worry about for the rest of the day, and you are able to benefit from a long rest as you guys prepare for camp and get ready overnight.
Definitely taking first watch.
All right. And we're going to kind of fast forward because the events of that night and the next day, day 6 of your journey, are really uneventful, which is kind of like downtime that you'll have for roleplay, if there's anything that you wanted to say to each other or to any of the NPCs. We can always do that in the Discord if you want to save time, unless there's anything specific you wanted to make mention for the stream, or for everybody here.
I'll say that at some point, probably on a more dull part of our journey on the next day, I would be kind of sitting in the back of the carriage, concentrating on my book that I have. I don't think I'm like meditating on it yet, but I'm definitely just looking at it for now, if anybody's paying attention, but keeping to myself.
I'm going over my journal, but nothing. Actually, I will make a point of saying that like Vati avoids talking to anybody in the camp for the next couple of days. He's very silent.
I'll kind of frustratedly flip through some pages and then close the book.
Sounds good. All right. So, you go through day 6 without any issues. You camp overnight again into day 7. Again,
Just to be clear, we get a long rest, right?
yes, you do. Many long rests.
Good.
So you can go ahead and do that for your character sheet.
1 HP.
Craggle, please, can we sleep?
Like, that 1 HP was just staring me in the face like, surprise attack coming.
Yes, a light breeze comes by and a pebble, knocks you upside the head and you go unconscious. No.
The wizard
Just as a
HP.
quick note, I just want to let you know, because I have my little vessel, every night I'm going to be recycling to make a new healing potion just in case, so I almost have 2 on me at all times.
Is it possible for me to use the alchemical set that I have to make alchemist fire on these longer?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Do. Normal roll, please. That's an awful. Well, it could be better.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out, but you don't think that you're able to, but you're experimenting.
Okay.
So you rest overnight. Day 6, day 7 comes. You continue on your journey. You are 7 days into your journey, 3 days away from Baldur's Gate. Partway during your journey on the 7th day, you are stopped. The caravan is stopped as in the distance, coming up fast on you from the direction you're headed, looks to be 12 mounted soldiers. And as they get closer, who is driving, by the way? Let me ask this first. Because you, for both of your carts, which one of you would be driving, would you say? Would you guys be taking shifts, or would one of you primarily be driving?
For our cart, I think Kel should be driving, because Kel knows how to work horses. I think
Yeah,
that
I'll be
makes
driving.
That makes the most sense.
Craggle, Honed, and Elias. So, which one of you?
I do not drive.
Elias knows nothing about horses.
Then honed it is.
Okay, Honed is driving.
No, their caravan's just off the rails.
So as you are driving, you have these people that come up on horseback, and as they get closer, immediately Honed, you recognize, and Vati, you recognize that they are Flaming Fist soldiers.
Oh boy, my favorite.
And as they get close to your cart, they stop your caravan and they surround the caravan as they halt everybody. And one Flaming Fist soldier kind of stands in front of the caravan with 2 others on their horses still, while the other 9 dismount and start walking by each of the carts. And they start asking people to come off the carts that are in front of you, your companions. And then they get up to your cart, Vati, next. And
I'm gonna, because I see other people getting out of the cart, right?
yes.
So I'm gonna get out of the cart, and I'm actually gonna pull. Thanks for the investigator background. I'm gonna pull out identification papers, just
Okay.
in case.
Perfect. And
Making the rest of us look bad. I see.
the
Well, I'm gonna get out and give them my rank as a member of the Flaming Fist.
okay. So, I mean, immediately the guy comes up to you while you're on the horse and he says, "All right, time to dismount. Time to submit for questioning." And you then hand your identification right away. And he says, "Ah, I see, Vati. Welcome on your way back. Still going to need you to dismount and submit for questioning."
Can I
So-
inquire? Can I inquire as to why I'm being questioned? Has something happened since I've been away?
No, you cannot. That'll be up to Flame Falburn to decide what she wants to tell you.
Fair enough.
And then,
Kel-
Lead the
How do you
way.
Spell that one?
what'd you say, Igvis?
What?
How do you spell that one?
Flame Falburn. So Falburn is Falburn.
Yeah.
And
I don't.
they say that to each one of you as they come to the back of the carts and say, "You tiefling, you short one, you the dragon creature, please exit a line on the side of the road here, so that you can submit for questioning."
Kel's gonna say, I do not answer to you. I request to speak to Flame Falborn now.
Say, "Are you daft?" Say, "Do you know who we are?" And
I'll
two
walk up
of
behind Cal.
two of
I'm just
them
crossing my arms and watching.
two of them put their hands on their sword and they say, "You're nearing very near to our borders here, and this is our realm, our territory, and we demand that you submit for questioning. This is not a request, this is an order, and you will do as you're told."
I'll put my hand on Kel's shoulder to try and interrupt the situation and show them my badge and say, "He's with us. We're coming from El Terrell. We just want to talk to her soon." And I'll pull him to the side.
"Yes, well, that's the point of this. You're submitting for questioning to Flame Falburn, but line up, side of the road, single file. Hands where I can see them."
God, I hate these guys.
Imagined Honed would position along with me and Igvis.
They always get in the way. Their investigations don't turn up very many things. Drives
You know
me
of
nuts.
them.
I have to work with them on a regular basis.
And you
I'm an
notice that these, didn't mean to cut you off, but you notice that these, their rank very clearly is marked on them. And if you hover over these tokens that I'm putting on the map right now, it'll tell you what their rank is for those of you who know the Flaming Fist insignia.
I'll nudge Craggle. "Hey, they're the same as you." Nudge, nudge.
I'll just shake my head. Means matters not.
But yes, Elias, I generally have to work with them for investigations throughout Baldur's Gate. They're generally the first one on the scene, although that can change. Depending on circumstances.
"You dwarf, get off your horse. Are you daft?"
Lol. No, he's just not here. He's zoning out.
And
There's nothing behind those eyes right now.
you see a woman who looks like this. Eventually, as you line up, come in front of you and says, "Right. For you who do not know who I am already, I am Flame Falburn of the Flaming Fist. I see that we have a couple within our rank already here. You know how this goes. This is ordinary procedure. Regardless of whether you're Flaming Fist or not, I have some questions for you, being that you are traveling towards Baldur's Gate from the direction of Elturel. So first of all, what's your business? Where are you headed? Where are you coming from?
I'll go ahead and step forward. I'll give my kind of traditional bow. Craggle, Gauntlet of the Flaming Fist. My companions here, and I'll gesture towards Igvis and
She
Hone.
interrupts you, and she says, Gauntlet, you say. Where's your badge?
It was torn off in battle.
Make me a deception.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Hope that +5 saved me.
Big oof.
I mean, she doesn't really have a reason to doubt me.
I mean, we are literally coming from the city that...
I am covered in blood. Like,
That doesn't help our case. That probably makes it worse, arguably, but...
no, I mean, we've been sent on missions before.
Okay.
And it was crudely ripped off, right? I didn't, like, cut it off or anything.
She
but
says, right then, who's your CO?
it was Elder Ravengard, though I know not where he is now.
You know that what she means is your direct CO. So it would be the Manip that you report to, which you would know the name of.
Okay. Do you want me to just make up a name?
Yeah, I was going to do a little bit of random name generator here.
Okay.
But if you have a name in mind, feel free.
I'll say it's Manip Salin.
Manip Salin. All right. And you, dwarf and tiefling, who is your CO?
I report to Craggle.
And Hone says, I report to Craggle too.
Is that Pal taking over? Home?
It is Pal.
Wait, Pal, no!
Get out of his body!
Pal has possessed Hone.
Craggle's nose starts to bleed.
Oh no.
Says, all right, continue, Gauntlet Craggle, with your story.
We were tasked by Elder Ravengard to investigate cult activity on the outskirts of Elturel. After investigating, we were returning when the catastrophe happened. We took it upon ourselves to escort this caravan to Baldur's Gate for refuge. And met these blokes along the way, and I'll point to the rest of the party.
So you were in Elturel, you say?
We were near when the catastrophe happened. We were in Elturel with Elder Ravengard when we were tasked with the mission.
And what exactly was the catastrophe?
I'll shake my head and kind of shrug. The companion, it went dark and there was fire and then it was gone. Only a crater left behind.
And where was the Grand Duke when all of this happened and went down?
I can only assume he was in Elturel, though I don't actually know that.
When was the last time you saw him before the event?
Before we dispatched for the mission to investigate the cult. What was
It
that,
was like
a week ago?
It was
Yeah,
like
5 days
hours before the catastrophe happened.
Was it that fast? No, wait, we journeyed for a while with Rhea. We went out
It was
with
pretty
Rhea.
quick. It was the same day.
Yeah, it was just a
Okay.
couple hours.
Okay,
It was a few
then I'll go with Ignis's answer there.
A few hours before the catastrophe happened, roughly a week ago now.
In fact, you know what? Dolakesh or Craggle will awkwardly turn and look to Igvis like, help me, I don't know time.
A couple hours. So as far as I'm aware, you're the last one to see Grand Duke Ravengard alive.
Well, we left
the
him
last
with
living people, probably.
We left him with Keel? What the heck is his name?
We left him with Gideon Lightward, Grand Duke and Marshal Ontharr Froome, a few, Thaddeus Krieg.
Thaddeus Krieg, yeah. Thaddeus Krieg was who we left him with, and the others as well, though we don't know of their status either.
You saw Thaddeus Krieg with Ravengard.
He was the one who gave us the mission on top of Elder Ravengard's direction.
Is Rhea also here?
Rhea is actually up at the other part of the caravan, and she is being questioned by other members.
Okay.
And says, by the way, Thaddeus Krieg wasn't there at that initial meeting.
Didn't he yell at me?
No. So, just as a refresh out of character. So you were at a meeting with Gideon Lightward, Ontharr Froome, and Older Ravengard, and Rhea. And Ontharr Froome was the one who basically gave you that mission. So
Okay.
Gideon Lightward was the High Rider of the Hell Riders. Older Ravengard was obviously Grand Duke and Marshal of the Flaming Fist, and Ontharr Froome was the leader of the Order of the Companion.
Okay, I assumed in my memory that it was the leader of Elturel that gave us the mission. But okay, so every
Yeah.
time I said Thaddeus Krieg, replace that with
And
Older.
you know that that Thaddeus Krieg, the reason you know that name is because that is who Older Ravengard was off to meet with.
Right.
And those notes are also in your backstory if you want to refresh them on your
Okay.
journal.
Sure.
I added basically the stuff that I had sent you forever ago on there.
Okay.
So Thaddeus Krieg is the ruler of the city and is the high observer of Elturel, and the whole reason that the contingent of Flaming Fist and Older Ravengard were off to Elturel was to meet on a diplomatic mission with Thaddeus Krieg, is who he was supposed to meet with and basically talk with about, stuff way above your pay grade.
Right. So we did leave him with Froome, but under the assumption that he was going to see Thaddeus Krieg, and that's what I actually retcon say.
Okay. Right. And you, he points to Elias. Who are you? And how did you end up to be part of this caravan?
I'm the great Elias, bard and friend to all, simply here to make beautiful music, and he's gonna actually step out of line as he says that just a little bit.
And she will immediately say, "Back in line," as these two gauntlets move closer.
He's gonna do like a flourishing bow and go back in line.
Kel's obviously looking very, very upset right now.
May I, excuse me, may I insight the woman who's talking? And what I want to know is if this is her kind of just throwing her weight around and this is like a standard procedure, or if this is like hostility.
Yeah, you know that this isn't standard procedure to just ride out and meet people coming to Baldur's Gate and question them. That's not a standard procedure of the Flaming Fist. But you do know that when they do interrogate people, that this is kind of the way that it goes down. This is the attitude they have. This is kind of how it works.
Okay. So I feel like an innocent cop being interrogated is just what I'm going to throw out there. But, okay, go ahead.
Says, and where were you, Elias, when the event occurred?
I was nowhere near.
Nowhere near. And how did you come to be part of the caravan so quickly after the event?
Their exploits are filled with beautiful stories for my songs. So I'm merely following as an observer.
So if you were nowhere near the event, where were you?
I was at an inn playing for a meal, if you must know.
What inn would that be?
Out of character, I don't know the world. Roughly, where would Elias have been?
Would you have actually been at an inn, Elias? I guess would be the overarching question. Or are you lying to her?
In this case, he's being mostly honest. He was probably at an inn doing nothing particularly eventful.
Okay. So then you would name an inn that you were at truthfully. And she looks at you for a moment. Up and down. And then she shifts her gaze to Marza. And Halfling? How about you? Where were you during the event?
I was on the road to Alterel. I was going to speak with some holy people. And then, well, you know.
And what holy people precisely were you looking to seek an audience with?
Well, it's kind of a journey of self-reflection. Exploring different religions.
I'm going to need specifics.
Give me a sec, sorry.
And she is just staring you down intently.
Yeah. My family was never very dedicated to any gods, so I took interest in my own travels, and I wanted to learn more.
Is that the truth?
No.
Okay, roll me a deception.
I mean, it's true that I didn't know who I wanted to go talk to for... Oh, shit.
Oh no? Oh no!
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, shit.
It's true that I was on the road, just not that that's why I was going.
All right, and where, what did you see when the event happened?
The same that anyone saw. It went dark. And... sorry, I don't have the full description of exactly how it went down.
Okay, but you did basically describe the...
Yeah.
Okay. Very well.
Have I worked with this person before?
Haha, I'm in danger.
You have not you have not worked with this person before, Vati. You know that the rank of flame is the third highest rank in the Flaming Fist. So, you know, this would be somebody that would be higher up than the people that you might typically work with. Like, you would probably work with fists.
Yeah.
You know, the lowest rank may be a gauntlet, you know, here or there on occasion. But, yeah, flame would just be kind of above your purview. She turns and she says, you, Bugbear, is it?
Yes, that is correct.
Where were you during the event?
Well, as I'm sure one of your fists gathered when I got when I gave out my identification papers, I was hired from my Baldur's Gate investigation agency to look into the order in Elturel. I was on the road, tracking a couple of different clues, a couple of different leads, when the same thing happened that other people described. The guy went out, or the companion turned black, and the city was gone. As I got closer, I noticed there was a crater, and so from there I decided to try to make my way back towards Baldur's Gate when I ran into this lot. I decided to join with them simply because they were heading this direction. If you need any proof of my investigation or my hiring, I do have those papers on me as well.
Yes, I would like to see those.
Do you want me to come hand them to you, or would you prefer I hand it off to one of your
No,
other people?
stay where you are. And she'll kind of beckon for this gauntlet to come over and grab it from you.
Okay, so I'll hand her the letter that doesn't have like a signature, talking about like looking into the order with like the money amount that I was paid, as well as again my identification papers.
And as this gauntlet comes up to Vati and passes by you, Kel, he kind of glares at you, and are you displaying a Hellrider insignia?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he would glare at you, look at your insignia, and then spit on the ground before grabbing Vati's papers and moving over here to flee.
As he walks away, I'm going to look over to Kel and be like, "Don't worry about it. They tend to be a bit touchy."
Kel's gonna growl real deep, and he's gonna whisper, "They're asking for it."
She looks at the papers. She looks at the note. So you hand her the notes, the note you received, and the papers.
Yeah, both of them.
So she looks at your credentials. She looks at the note, and she says, "What precisely, though, were you investigating about the order?"
Well, as you can see in the note, the person who hired me wasn't very specific. So I started at Baldur's Gate, asked if we'll call them vets of the order that were left in the town. From there, they pointed me to a couple of other people. Maybe some mentions about the occult. I mean, you know how eyewitness testimony, how people are. Some people use it as a chance to give their grudges against others to try to incriminate them. I don't have anything solid yet, is what I'm trying to say. That's why I was heading towards, well, the home of the order in order to see if I can get into contact with a couple of upper officials. Maybe peruse and get some information about the current doings of the order that they could provide me. It's basic investigation work, but I clearly didn't get there in time for whatever happened.
Very well. She'll hand your papers back to the gauntlet, who will return them to you, and then move back over here. And then she turns and she looks at Kel, says, "And you, Hellrider, where were you when the event happened?" And as she addresses you specifically, Kel, these two gauntlets here put their hands on their sword, as do these to the side.
And as I watch them, well, actually, do I see them put their sword?
Oh yeah,
like, their hands on the...
Yeah, no, they're not hiding it.
Okay, so I'm gonna like turn to Kel for a second and be like, "Easy now, just comply so we can get through this and get to the city. You can take your grudges out on them later."
This is a fight we definitely don't want right now.
Kel's gonna say, "Who are you to question me, and why do your soldiers threaten?"
These are the authorities in this land. You do well to watch yourself.
And Flame Falburn will speak up and say, "I can speak for myself, Gauntlet. says, I am Flame Falburn. I am a high-ranking member of the Flaming Fist. You have entered our lands, coming from Elturel, where some sort of catastrophe has occurred, and we are now flooded with refugees from your land, and it is my authority to come investigate what has happened and to question those who are suspicious in nature. So you will answer my questions, Hell Rider. You're lucky I don't arrest you on sight.
Kel's gonna kind of growl and he's gonna say, well, if you must know, I was on a reconnaissance mission when the city fell.
A reconnaissance mission to do what? Investigate what?
I was looking for a person of suspect.
What person?
A murderer that killed someone close to me.
Who was killed? And who is this murderer?
My mother was killed, and I'm not sure who. That's why I was out looking and talking to people. I am not sure. That is one of my missions, personal missions.
And how close were you to the city when the event happened?
I was just outside of it. I was on my way back. I could see the city.
When was the last time you saw Thavius Creek?
Who?
Thavius Krieg. He would be the ruler of Elturel, and you would know that.
It has been some time as I was on my mission for 3 or 4 days.
And what is your intent in traveling to Baldur's Gate? How does this help with the investigation of this murderer of your mother? What intent do you have in Baldur's Gate?
My mother was killed in Baldur's Gate.
Was she a Hell Rider too?
She was, but she bore no insignia or no markings of any kind to discern her of a Hell Rider. She was also unarmed.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, Dragonborn. Hell Rider. If it weren't for the fact that I was dispatched to travel to Elturel to investigate the strange happenings and rumors that we have been hearing, I would arrest you on sight, as that is what we are doing in Baldur's Gate. As Hell Riders come to our doors, we are arresting them on sight.
Can I see Rhea?
You, not from where you are, no, but you know she's up ahead in the other caravan.
Fuck.
She says, and I don't feel like dragging your sorry ass along with me while I go to Elturel and investigate the strange happenings. So I'm not going to arrest you right now, because it would be a drag on my investigation, what I've been sent to do. But be warned that if you step near Baldur's Gate, you will be arrested.
What if... May I interject?
No, you may not.
Well, I'm going to anyway. Um, I would like to say that, as you read with those papers, I am doing an investigation on the Order. Would it be within my legal right to hold him as my sort of prisoner while I investigate?
No, it would not be. The Flaming Fist are arresting all the Hell Riders on site. We are investigating and interrogating all of them. And your job does not take precedence over our legal business as protectors of the community.
Are you trying to start a war?
You would do well to watch your tongue.
You do well to watch yours as well.
And these two step forward a step. And she will step forward and right up to you, right in your face, inches away. And she will say, I eat children like you for breakfast. You are nothing to me. You understand? If I wanted to, I could end you, here and now. Nobody would question it. I'd be well within my right to do so. Nobody would cry for you. Nobody would weep.
I would beg to differ, my parents being of high elven authority and who sponsor my investigation office would gladly come to investigate yours. And I don't think you'd like two people knocking on your door.
Says, I'm going to give you one chance before you try to threaten me. Says, get down on one knee and you apologize to me. And you say sorry, Flame Foulburn, for my arrogance. Because if you do not, then you will see what it means to be a member of the Flaming Fist, and you will see my wrath, and you will wish that you had done so. And you know very well that, she's not bluffing.
Oh yeah,
no
I didn't
insight
think she
check
was
needed.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
not
I didn't
bluffing.
figure she was with that bravado.
And you also know that the Flaming Fist in general, they are bullies. They
They're
have
British, yeah.
they have no qualms. She will murder you here and now, in the name of only arrogance, if anything else. And justify it by however she feels she wants to justify it. And you're also confident that especially knowing her rank and the rank of the others, what you've heard and been from Baldur's Gate, they are pretty strong soldiers. They would probably wipe the floor with you and the rest of your companions if, they were given the chance.
I'll just say half your companions are on her side.
Yeah, you also know you're traveling with 3 Flaming
Yeah,
Fist members.
do I know that they are? Well, I guess I know now.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I didn't know.
yeah,
I don't think I knew.
You would have seen their insignias.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was torn off prior.
I was gonna say I don't have my insignia showing, but the other two, I know Honed does.
Oh, okay.
And I tore it off before I met you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the only person that would have it is Honed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't interacted with Honed too much, but I guess we'll call it. Yeah.
So Kel's going to interject, and he's going to say, well...
And as soon as you say, well, she puts up her hand right in front of your face. Says, I'm not talking to you, Dragonborn. Well, hobgoblin, bugbear, whatever you are, what's it going to be?
Elias is gonna look at one of the gauntlets right now, and he's gonna say, "Oh, great and merciful Flaming Fists, may we have medicine and treatment for the women and children. We have a newborn baby and mother who require in this caravan who require medical attention desperately."
They won't answer you as they're all intently focused on Vati.
If that's the case, is stealth a thing?
Before you do that, what I am gonna do is I will do as she commands. No, I don't quite like. I'm not full on smirking, but like I'm kind of pleased with myself because I've just made it more fists mad. Because as an investigator, I don't like them. They get in the way. But I will do as she commands.
Okay. Okay, so you get down on one knee, and you say those words. I mean, say it again for me. On stream, how you would say it.
Okay, okay. What were the words exactly? If you could you type that out or something so I can read that?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay, so perfect.
Improv.
So either way, I'm fucked. No, it's cool. So I'll get down on one knee, and I apologize for my arrogance in this situation. Moving forward, I will do my best to keep myself humble in your presence.
And as you do that, these gauntlets will step back. She will say, "See that you do." She will step back here, turn back to the Dragonborn and say, "You do as you wish, Dragonborn. I care not of your fate or what happens to you, but you've been warned. That is my good deed for the day."
I like to imagine she has a calendar at home.
And she looks to the other gauntlets and she says, "All right, I'm done with this crew." She says, "Mount up. We move out."
What was her rank again?
Flame.
Flame Falburn, if you don't mind. We met a peculiar woman along the road near Fort Morning Lord. She wanted to investigate the fort and took it upon herself as possibly the highest ranking Flaming Fist, Hell Rider, to direct us to it. I took the opportunity to investigate the happenings, and she disappeared into the night, claiming to be investigating El Terrell. Point is, there may be strange creatures coming from Fort Morning Lord. We believe we may have sealed the gate, but we don't know what got out.
Understood. Thank you.
And
for
I
the
also
tip.
said her name. I forgot her name, but I said her name somewhere in there.
Yeah, Flame Falburn. Flame Darren
sorry, no,
Falburn.
The
Katja.
Hell Rider. Captcha, there it was, yeah.
She says, "Thank you for the tip."
I'll give my bow.
And she says, "Move out." And they will move back over this way to where their horses are. And they will mount up and then move out on their way.
Kel's gonna let out a guttural growl and slam his fist in the ground and go, "How dare she threaten us? We did
He's-
nothing."
Easy, Kel. Remember, a whole city's gone. Anyone would be on edge, especially Baldur's Gate and the Fist. Keep in mind.
Sorry.
I was just gonna be like, keep in mind that I don't know how long you've been in the Order, but they have been politically vying for control over these lands for a while.
Tell me, Kel, do they know you as a Hell Rider in the city?
I mean, I think they'll.
No,
see. Okay.
they don't. And Kel's actually going to, for the betterment of his mission and what he's trying to accomplish. He's actually going to take off his crest and store it. So he cannot be identified as a Hell Rider anymore.
So, do I see Kel try to take that off? Actually, are you
I mean, you're right in front of him. Yeah.
okay? Okay, but real quick, if you're using that to disguise yourself, you wouldn't want it on you anyway. If you trust me, I'll take that with me. I'll store it with me. I'll claim it's part of my investigation. I have papers for it. This way, they can't potentially claim that you are one.
Very well, Vati. Protect this. I have risked my life for the Hell Riders.
I will do so with my life. And so I'll take that and I will put it into my pocket.
You seem a good man, Cal. Make sure you live to fight another day.
Kel's also
Where the fuck did Craggle go? Wait, what? Oh, did you? Oh, is he moving? Okay. I thought maybe his token just disappeared for a second because he was.
Oh, I thought that was in character.
And you are able to find Rhea Craggle with the other members of the caravan, and she seems to. I mean, when you look at her and you look at her face, she seems to have worry on her face.
Does anyone look injured?
Nobody looks injured.
Is she with people where I could like talk to her? I bet everyone would hear, or could I like just speak to her alone?
I mean, you could pull her away and speak to her alone.
Okay. I don't know if that would draw more attention, but I'll go ahead and do that. We'll try it. I'm gonna pull her away and just be like, "What did they say to you?"
She says, they asked me many questions where I was during the fall of my city. When I last saw Thavius Krieg, they asked about my intentions traveling to Baldur's Gate, and they threatened to arrest me.
They did the same to Cal. What do you plan to do?
Well, they also told me that they've received rumors that Thavius Krieg was spotted leaving the city in their interrogations of other Hell Riders. And if that's true, then I must go to Baldur's Gate to search for him. So I plan to go regardless to Baldur's Gate, and regardless of what might happen, and do what I can to find him, to find our leader, and to help rebuild El Terrell.
I'm gonna shake my head. You know what? I've seen you fight, and I respect you actually to a degree, but you wouldn't last 10 fucking seconds in Baldur's Gate with that insignia on. You must hide it.
Roll me a persuasion check.
While he's doing this, Kel's going to strip himself of his armor,
God.
considering it's displaying Hell Rider's colors. And
I'm gonna use my
being
inspiration.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding?
metal, I'm going to use. I'm kind of going to summon some fire and kind of change the color to just a black.
Okay. She says, Craggle, I understand that what you say makes logical sense. She says, but you need to understand that being a Hell Rider is so much more than just a job for me. It is my life, it is my essence, it is who I am, it is everything that I stand for and that I believe in. And I will not hide that. I will not hide my conviction. I will not not hide my dedication to Torm. I will not hide my beliefs and who I am. You know, what will happen, and I will do everything in my power to find Thavius Krieg and survive and do what I must do.
I'm gonna try to. I wanted to let you finish, but I wanted to cut her off at like what will happen will happen. I'm gonna be like, what will happen is you're gonna get torn apart and you're gonna die for nothing. Then no one's asking you to rescind your beliefs or give up on the cause. We're asking you to make a smart decision to survive long enough to do what you want.
So, can Kel actually approach this conversation or hear this conversation at all?
I specifically pulled her aside. So, like, if you were to go back to the group to go find her, maybe, but
Yeah, I mean, Craggle and Rhea would be off to the side. They'd probably be out of your vision unless you were specifically looking for them as a character. And you were also kind of messing with your armor and your looks and stuff like that while this is happening too. Because he pretty much took off, you know, right away.
so yeah, no one's asking you to give up on everything just to be smart.
Well, I'll tell you what, Craggle, we still have a couple more days until we get there. I promise you I'll at least consider it.
I'll kind of look down at the floor, and it's your funeral, and I'll walk back, probably to assist the caravan if anything needs to get reloaded or anything. If there's nothing, then I'll head back to the party.
Okay. Sounds good. You do that.
Kel's going to say to the group while he's changing the color of his armor through the fire treatment, he's going to say, "This does not change anything or who I am or what I believe in. This is a means to an end."
We're not asking you to change. We're asking you to adapt. The world has kind of gone into chaos at the moment, and you just need to survive.
And it's at this point that Vadi's gonna, because again, I don't think Vadi might have seen Owned wearing the thing, but he didn't see Igvis or Craggle. So I'm gonna turn to Igvis and I'll be like, I didn't know you were with them.
I don't really flaunt it. I'm
That's
there.
that's very unlike, well, them. How?
Funny
this
for
mean
you to
you've-
put us in a box.
What?
Funny of you to put us in a box.
I mean, I was literally just put in a box by your people in the same, well, 20 minutes.
Wow, it looks like we're all hypocrites.
Look at that.
I
I
just-
don't hold the same values of the fists. It was a means to an end for me.
That's always the catch, isn't it?
You do
Well-
what you have to do to survive, don't you?
It's true, but a choice is still a choice. No, let me be clear. I don't hold this against. Well, I hold it against Craggle a little bit, but only because it's Craggle.
Walking back into this conversation, what?
Nothing. I just didn't realize you were a cop. My bad.
He wants to hold something against you.
The fact that you were a cop.
I'm gonna like stare like from probably a fair distance, just kind of look at you with like you probably can't see my eyes in my hood. Do I look like a cop to you?
Easy. Calm down. It was merely a jest.
I'll kind of sneer and walk away.
I have seen you all in combat, and I trust you with my back. Just was surprising. Just a little bit. I don't trust the organization very much. For very clearly obvious reasons.
For what it's worth, I never intended to hide it. I just never mention it. It doesn't come up in casual conversation, we'll say.
I won't consider that a lie. You were just simply... it's not like I go around asking if everybody's joined the fist, either.
For someone who values truth so much, I expect you to respect them. At least they're open and honest about their intentions. We make money. We go to the highest bidder, and we go where suits us best.
Yeah, but here's my problem with that. That's under the guise of keeping a city safe. That's still a lie, even if it is less of one.
And how would you deal with the ruffians of the lower city? Have you ever even been to the lower city? Have you ever even seen what it's like there?
Oh yes, I've seen what the city does to people. Don't you worry. Those very same people try to hire me with whatever thing they can scrape by to implicate you people on various things. Everyone has their ends. I just simply don't think that bullying those in the lower city is better.
So you've seen a couple mob bosses. You know nothing of the lower city or the plight of the people there. And I'm actually going to go back to my carriage at that.
Somebody's a bit touchy.
By the way,
I join them to protect people, not
Wait,
to
wait.
exploit them. And I'll walk away too.
I trust you. But we're going to the same.
Smart shit and joins me.
No, see,
I'm
the funny
going on
part
top.
is.
I'm on top. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
in.
I was about to like, did you like? No, I'm done with you, and we're walking to the same car, like a married couple that just got done arguing about finances and
both-
Fine
public.
then. Fly away.
It's just funny. That's all. Just like, no, we're done. I forgot the keys.
can you know, I need the milk. Pass it, please. I'm still mad at you.
We'll talk about this in the morning.
By the way, in handouts, in the journal section, location folder, Baldur's Gate.
Woo-woo.
There is a couple more sections that are available for Vati, Craggle, and Igvis that you can actually peruse and read at your leisure or during downtime or any time. That just gives more information about the city of Baldur's Gate and things that you would be privy to, just in general descriptions of
The
city and
lower
its
city's the
districts.
good part of town. Damn it.
Yeah. Oh no, you just
Philadelphia is
sounded
the
like an
most fashionable
asshole.
city.
You know not of what the lower city holds as you walk with your money bags
I
away.
meant the poor people, I swear.
I know what you meant. It's just funny.
Well, so the lower city is the poor section of town. It's the middle class, I should say. Middle class to poor. And then the
It's
outer city
outer
is
city.
the poor, squalid. And then the
Inner
upper
city.
city. That should say upper city, not.
Would we know, do the Flaming Fist maintain order in the outer city as much, more so, or are they kind of like...
You would know
They-
that they do not.
I was like,
so,
They don't touch it? Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, they technically have purview over it, and they very rarely go out there.
Gotcha.
The only exception is Worm's Crossing, which you can read about that on there, so I don't divulge too much information for
Gotcha.
other people. But there are exceptions, but mostly the Flaming Fist patrols the lower city, and the Watch patrols the upper city, and then the outer city is just left to its own devices.
I got a lot of reading to do. Okay.
Yeah, a bit. This is
Yeah, no, there's a lot of information in there. You don't have to read it all right now. I just wanted to mention that it was there for you, so that
I
if
have
you
to
want
speed read
peruse-
this.
I
gotta
do
speed
like
read
that
this?
there's
Yes.
things that
1
has
minute.
sows put.
You have 1
Well,
minute to memorize everything.
Just because it's like that, going to the shower and thinking of the comeback to the argument you had earlier. This is what it is for Vadi. He's just going over information so he can go back later when he argues with Craggle.
I'll get him.
Yeah,
next time.
and another thing.
I'll show him.
And your mother. Like,
All right. I think
okay,
we
cool.
carriage on.
Sounds good. So rest of the day, nothing else happens. You rest overnight, and we're gonna speed this through because the 8th day as well is uneventful.
wait.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said sweet.
Okay. Yeah, so the rest of the day, overnight, 8th day is uneventful. And then overnight you rest. And then on the 9th day, you go through the day, uneventful. Night comes, and at night, when you go to start resting, you make your way to the top of a hill to make camp for the night. And when you look over the top of the hill on the night of day 9, you can see the city of Baldur's Gate in the distance. And it looks like you'll arrive the following afternoon.
And this
Just
is
gonna
even-
say, top of a hill, terrible place to make camp.
So
So, what? I'm gonna like mention to Kel, Elias, and Marza because they're in my thing. Do any of you have a place to stay when we get inside?
This wasn't exactly my original destination. So, no.
And then I'll give them. I'll just to speed this up. I will tell them that they can stay with me at my office, and then I'll just like give them like a vague directions to my office once they're inside the city.
okay, sounds good. So, I mean, that night as you make camp, you gather like you normally do for dinner to eat. And Vasha says a unity prayer. She says, "Before all, we give thanks to the companion, whose light gives us the bounty of the fields and shields us from the dark, whose eternal presence is a constant ally against all those who would threaten Eltergard. Let all those who stand within its blessing remember that it is a beacon of righteousness, which we will follow to our greater glory." In the light of the companion, and you hear the others mumble in the light of the companion. And everybody sits down and they start to eat. And Vasha looks up and she says, "So, tomorrow's the day. The end of a long journey for us. What is
Unfortunately.
what is your plan? Kragle, Igvis, Vati, Kel, Marza, Elias, Hone. What are your plans once you reach Baldur's Gate? What's the next step for you?"
Who would be the next in command under Ravengard?
So, you know that there are 4 potential candidates underneath Ravengard. There isn't necessarily one that you would immediately call out as being able to take control. So you know that.
Could I just say I'm going to report to the Council of 4?
You could say that. You don't. I mean, in your head, you could say whatever you want. But the Council of 4 would not likely speak to you directly. You would have to go through some bureaucratic BS to submit, an application to be able to even get into the upper city to speak with them and blah, blah, blah. But the Blaze is the next rank right below Marshall. And there are 4 Blazes. You know that there's Liera Porter, who is a Blaze who is stationed in faraway Chult. You know that there is Blaze Beldroth, who is a Blaze of the lower city. that kind of has his command there. You know that there is a blaze that is in charge of Worm's Rock, though you can't think of the name right off of the top of your head. Worm's Rock being the fortress on Worm's Crossing. And then you also know that there is a blaze who is in charge of the main Flaming Fist fortress in the city.
Okay, so without wanting to be too specific, I'd probably just report our findings back to whoever's in charge at the time, I suppose. Although, I imagine we'll be investigating the happenings of El Jarrell and the disappearance of Elder Ravengard more as well.
Yeah, and you would know that based on your position, that you actually would end up reporting up through Blaze Beldroth. It's kind of where your chain of command structure
Okay,
would go.
I'm not going to say his name, but now I know that. Cool.
I also, so for me, I'm just going to say I have other business to take care of, and DM, you already know where I'm going.
Yep.
I'm gonna perk up. I'm going to return to my agency, my office, and gather my thoughts and send out some inquiries, I think. I'm not sure yet, but Marza, and Elias, and Kel might be staying. I'll extend that offer to you if you need it, Fasha. Getting around the city with your prior, or what I know. Is she still wearing it?
I'm sorry, say again. Still wearing what?
The thing that denotes her as like a Hell Rider, right?
Rhea?
It was.
Vash is not a Hell Rider.
Okay. Okay. I confused the two. That's my apologies. Yeah, but I would extend if anybody seeks shelter. My office is not small, but it's not a mansion by any means. It does have a few rooms if anyone needs to stay. Like I said, I think Elias and Marza and Kel might be staying there. But yeah, I think
We'll take that offer.
I think that I need to find out both what happened at El Triel, and also to check the Fists movements. I think I'm curious about their upper brass and what they tend to do with the city that opposed them so much, now gone. Something just doesn't sit right with me, if you catch my drift. What about you, Elias? What are you going to do?
The great Elias will spend a few days in the city, and after that look for more songs.
Will you be staying with me then, or you just going to be staying at a tavern?
I'm very good at drifting my way through taverns.
Okay then.
I'll pick
And-
one near your office. You'll probably need the space. I suggest the Hell Rider should stay with you. More subtle that way.
And then, what about you, Kel?
I will take your offer.
Just know that when you're in my office, you have to mind manners. I do occasionally get clients.
I'll find an inn near your place, though, so I'll be in touch if you need me.
And how about you, little Marza?
Marza kind of startles. Wasn't really paying attention to the conversation, was kind of zoned out. And definitely kind of preoccupied. I hadn't really thought about it. I want to know what happened to El Terrell. But maybe I can find someone here. I'll stay with you, at least for a bit.
Sounds good enough to me. And then presumably Homed would say something, but
Hone's
Yeah.
also a member of the Fist. He has a house here somewhere.
Yeah. Hone says something that we will have to find out at another time.
very intriguing. Thank you, Honed.
Very
enlightening.
Very insightful.
You have changed
s-
my outlook on life.
That's scandalous. How would you ever think to do that?
She says to you, Basha will then speak up after you're all done talking. Do you think that Baldur's Gate will be safe? Or do you think something similar could happen to it that happened to Elturel? We still don't know what happened exactly.
Well, I'd say that the companion seemed instrumental, so it should be safe for now.
I agree
Hopefully.
with Marza. I think that for now it'll be as safe as Baldur Gate's ever been safe.
Which is not very, as far as I'm told.
You've been told correctly.
There is not much for most people in Baldur's Gate. That is correct, but it is safer than the wilds sometimes.
The influx of refugees will probably make things rougher. Resources will be more scarce, so
You'll have
be
to,
extra careful.
we'll just have to avoid the outer city.
Vasha says, well, I have enough money that I think Segrin and I will take a ship to Waterdeep, if we can, where I have some distant family. I think I've had enough of the South.
I wonder how Alyssa will fare. Bearing child and all.
And everybody's there, by the way. So this is like
Oh,
a campfire.
Oh,
a community
I didn't
campfire.
realize it. Okay. And
As Alyssa sits next to you.
Oh, okay. Alyssa, hopefully you'll fare well. Do you have perhaps an estate or something to go back to? Care for child?
She says, well, I'll probably leave to inform Fessel's family of his death, and mourn with them, of course, and introduce his family to his child's, and, you know, after that I'll just seek to make a new life for my baby and I, for little Marza and myself in Baldur's Gate.
And it's at this point that I'm going to reach into my pouch, and I'm actually going to give her 10 gold pieces. Hopefully this isn't a lot, but just know that if you need anything, my office door is always open.
Yeah, and basically 10 gold pieces is like $1,000 US, you know, in currency that you're basically handing her.
I could.
Yeah,
It's not a lot.
Keep it in separate pouches on your person.
and
Don't keep anything all in one place.
Yeah, and she says, "Oh, I don't know what to say. Thank you, Vati. This is so generous. This will go a long way for Marza and I. This will definitely be a good start for us to make a new life."
Consider it a gift from the Lyrander family.
I will. I won't forget this, Vati. We are ever in your debt.
Think nothing of it.
As, you know, a couple of years down the road, there's a little Vati running around, you know.
Oh, God.
I'll also offer to take her to this family because we don't know how much more dangerous the city might be if she wants a guide or bodyguard in this case.
She says,
So you offer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Igvis, as part of, if you're going to do that, at the very least, let me give you some money to make up for my earlier comments.
I don't need your money, buddy.
Are you saying that, like, is that more like a you don't want to touch it type thing, like you're still insulted, or is that like a no, I'm okay?
It's a no. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Are you
The
sure?
Great
Your
Alliance.
money's no good here, sir.
The great Elias will accompany as well. Seems a fitting end to quite the tale.
She says,
But-
I thank you so much, Igvis, for that offer. My family, Vessel's family, lives in Brampton. Are you familiar with that area?
Very familiar. I'll get you there safely.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna... Alyssa, is Fossil's family going to take issue with... You know what? Never mind.
Oh, okay.
I'm really curious.
No,
what
not the
Margot's gonna
name.
ask now.
The whole half-elf thing.
Oh.
And Kel also just like...
Oh, that's
huh.
right.
Yeah, Elias is probably inciting that.
Which, because Kel and I are the only ones who saw it when the baby was born, so unless anybody else has, like, taken a close look at it...
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, Kel's gonna be kind of giggling.
yeah, anybody who's not Kel or Marza, you didn't notice that about the baby. But obviously Marza wanted to say something and didn't.
I do want to pull her aside after dinner. I figured I shouldn't say that in front of everybody. But I still kind of wanted to put something out there. So after we all eat and she's, like, kind of packing up to go to bed, I want to ask her about it.
And Alyssa looks at Dara and Goran and says, "What about you, Dara? And Goran, what are your plans?" And Goran speaks up and says, "Well, Dara's been on a pilgrimage from Amen to the Shrine of Suffering in Baldur's Gate, so now that we are almost there, we will complete that pilgrimage. And then after we have spent time here, and Dara does what she needs to do, I suppose we will return to Amen." Does anybody else want to say anything during this meal or during this time?
What does Rhea look like?
Rhea is, you actually see Rhea, believe it or not, has taken her Hell Rider insignia off and has it in her hand, is kind of like flipping it, in her hand, just kind of focused on that and
Okay.
lost in thought.
I'm just gonna leave her alone. So no, nothing from me.
Cal's gonna walk over, or he's gonna get up, and he's gonna ask Rhea to speak with him alone for a minute.
Oh. Yes, Cal, we can do that. And she'll walk off with you to a private location.
Rhea, I know this is a hard decision. It was hard for me as well. But the end goal is to find Thaddeus for yourself and for the Hell Riders. It would be best for you to hide the insignia. It is not an easy thing to do, but it must be done. To accomplish your mission and your goals, it must be done. He's going to kind of put his hand on her shoulder, and he's kind of speaking pretty softly for Kel.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
You guys
We
are all gonna
neither
get Rhea
deceptive
killed.
or persuasive this session.
We just need to get more rolls. Just get more rolls on the board. Let's go.
Can I use my insight for that?
Inspiration, you mean?
Inspiration to reroll?
Yeah,
Inspiration, sorry.
you can do that. Go ahead and give me a reroll and use your inspiration.
Taking Craggle's advice, I see. More dice.
Gambler's fallacy. Let's go.
Oh no!
5 averages
So
has to
I
take
do-
control occasionally.
So do I roll the persuasion with advantage or just
Just roll again.
Right.
So it's as if you had advantage, but it's a reroll. Is what you get.
that's a lot better.
There we go.
She says, "Yes, I suppose you and Craigle are right. I suppose I should do what is necessary. It doesn't mean I am giving up who I am."
My thoughts exactly. It does not change who we are or our training or our ideals.
And
It just changes our appearance.
And you will see her take off her boot and place her badge inside towards the bottom of her boot, her insignia, and then put her boot back on. And she'll reach out her hand and grasp yours, link arm and arm, and say, "Thank you, Cal."
Always for a member of the order.
All right. And then she'll make her way back to her cart.
Kel's gonna walk back to the group and he's gonna say goodnight and he's gonna go he's gonna walk outside and just take a deep breath of air and he's gonna walk back in and head to his room.
Okay. Sounds good.
If we're doing watches, I'm taking watch.
Okay. What watch?
First one.
Okay.
Kel will take third. He needs a little bit of sleep after his emotions today.
I'll take fourth.
Take fourth, and who
Elias,
takes second?
Take second. Elias, I guess.
Okay. You guys head off to sleep, unless there's anything else anybody else wanted to do. Go ahead.
Can I speak with Alyssa?
Yeah, sorry. Absolutely. So,
No worries.
Yeah, so you're able to find Alyssa and find a spot where it's just you two to speak.
Alyssa, I wanted to ask you something. I'm not sure if it's a touchy subject, but I want to make sure you'll be okay going into the city and speaking to Fessel's family. Your baby.
Yes, little Marza.
I noticed her ears. And yours. And your husband's. And, there's a marked difference.
Oh. And she is quiet for a moment.
To be clear, there's no judgment. I just want to make sure that Fessel's family isn't going to take issue.
Well, and her lip starts to quiver. I'm not sure I have really any other option. The other party is no longer an option.
Was Fessel aware?
No.
I know Maybe, if you don't want to risk going, Vati could know someone. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the city. But I want to make sure that the two of you will be okay.
Maybe, roll me a persuasion at advantage.
Oof.
She says, maybe you are, yes, if you would be willing to help in some way, I would appreciate it. I feel like I've asked too much of you. I've taken too much from you all. I don't want to be a burden, but I'm just not sure where else I would go, what else I would do.
Everyone in this caravan has been through a lot together by now. We can ask around, see if there's anywhere else you could stay.
All right, I appreciate that, Marza.
Of course. And I suppose in the morning, I'll go ahead and ask people about that.
Okay.
Did Vasha say what her plan was?
She did. She said that her and Sagrin are gonna get a ship to Waterdeep, most likely.
Okay.
Because she has distant family there.
Right.
Okay. So you go throughout the night, and you take your watches. And nothing comes in the middle of the night for you. You wake up the next morning and you pack in order to venture off into the city, finally, at last. Anything in the morning anybody wants to do or say?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Vati first and ask about any contacts you might have or any ideas for somewhere that Alyssa can go, and I will mention the half-elf baby.
You're gonna tell me that there's a half-elf baby?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That is rough.
I'm not sure she'll be safe if she... Well, I'm not sure that the child will get the best upbringing if she brings it there. I don't want its life to start filled with hatred.
Especially the half-elven people. Well, my office is again open. It's located near the Steeps, which is higher end of the lower city. She should be fine there. One of the two rooms that I had will have to be cleared out. You and Kel might have to switch out who stays where. I can just sleep on the floor in my office on the downstairs of the building. But
I'm pretty flexible on where I sleep.
tell her to stop by my office. We'll make room for her and her child.
Why don't we go talk to her? Make sure that she's alright with that.
That's fair.
Elias is actually going straight to talk to her as well, because he did offer to help escort her last night.
Oh, that's going to be interesting, because Igvis also did that.
And I would like to specifically... Okay. Vati, do not speak about the child. I don't think anybody else is aware. We're going to keep it that way. If they notice, they notice. But it's a bit of a touchy subject for her, and we're going to leave it.
As long as no one asks me specifically that question, I should be fine. Just know that I can't
Okay.
lie to too far of an extent.
Kel's gonna ask Vati if there are any good armors close by.
I'm gonna look to Kel and I'm gonna be like, most of the good armorers near my house they'll be near the fists. They tend to get paid on a regular basis. If you avoid those days, go there, you can get some decent armor in that place. If not, try to... There's also the marketplace in the upper city, but that gets a little bit more dicey the closer it gets to night. Don't want to be caught up there if you're not a resident. If you catch my drift. And then, presumably we're heading towards Alyssa, right?
That was my plan, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you're heading towards Alyssa, and Elias, you had said you wanted to seek Alyssa out in the morning?
Yes. So he's gonna be probably walking to her, and just ask details on when they're leaving, where she'd like to go, etc.
All right. So you kind of all bump into each other. Elias goes to find Alyssa, and Vati, Marza, you guys are shortly behind Elias. You see him over by Alyssa's caravan, and it looks like Alyssa is just turning to speak to Elias, as you guys are maybe 50 feet out. And you say what exactly, Elias?
Hello, Alyssa. I figured I should talk to you on where I'll be taking you later today. Have to make sure you and little Marza get there safely.
Oh, yes, I think, I meant to speak to Igvis and you about that. I don't believe that, I'll be following you anymore. Change in plans. I plan to, go with, Marza and Vati. They're going to escort me.
The more the merrier. It's best we get you there safe.
Yes.
Elias! Hi. Can we speak with Alyssa alone?
Pray tell why.
Because I want to speak with her alone. We've talked about trust, Elias.
Indeed we have. And I believe ours goes both ways.
Well, who got the baby named after them?
Enough, you two. Enough. Alyssa, I hear you need some lodgings. You wanted someplace else to stay. I for you my second room at my office. Should be room enough once we clear it out for you and the baby. It's higher in the steeps. So regular guard patrol, the least likely place in the city to get stabbed, outside of the upper area. Like I said last night, my place is always open to you. Marza made me aware that you might want other places to stay, or seek other options, so I came to offer mine.
Yes, that's very kind of you, Vati. Thank you. I don't know how to thank you for this offer. I do still have a concern, though. I don't, even though, obviously staying with you solves one issue that I'll have. How will I provide for my child alone? Without...
As far as staying with me goes, I keep a stocked sort of rations. Everything is already taken care of by me and the Lyrander family, so you need not worry. Till you find your footing or where you need to go, you can stay and lean on me as much as possible.
Thank
I'll
you.
teach you the loot if it helps. You'd be surprised the ease of making a living off these things.
Thank you, Vati. Thank you.
Once again, no need to thank me. Just doing what I can to make the world a slightly less shitty place. And then I think that concludes my conversation with Alyssa, really, because
Yep.
I think after that we can head off, unless Craggle, Igvis, or Cal wants to do anything as well.
I would just assume you would tell me that I'm no longer needed, so I'm just like, all right.
Well, like if it's me, I can tell you that I would welcome your company. Um, it's added guard, especially since you can fly. So I'll leave it up to Igvis whether or not he wants to help escort Alyssa.
I had
My-
business in Brampton anyway. It was on the way for me, but that's a little out of my way at this point.
Okay. Fair enough.
So while that's going on, what day is it possibly? Is it a day that the Flaming Fist get paid? So forth. Kel wants to visit the armory and get rid of some stuff and buy some stuff.
Would I know what paid it? Because it does mention it.
We get paid on missions. We're not like salaried.
It does bring attention to specifically payday in particular areas, though.
Sure.
Yeah, you there are Flaming Fist paydays because they're paid by the city in order to basically be the police force of the city. So while yes, they get paid on missions, extra handsomely, depending on the mission, they do have like a regular paycheck that the Flaming Fist receives from the city of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, you can't exactly have a military force that doesn't have enough to afford living there. So
Yeah. So would I know if it's payday?
It is not payday. So payday is like 10 days out.
Okay, I'll just inform you then. No, they're not paid for a little while longer.
Hey, Ignis, do you know a good inn near the steeps?
Near the steeps.
yeah, at this point, Vadi will chime in. Yes, I think the place is called the Majestic. Wonderful, wonderful place. Keep your cup full, keep your tummy full. Lovely performances.
Indeed, it sounds like the great Elias will be gracing their stages.
I look forward to seeing that performance. Thinking about the time that you tripped and fell when trying to do some acrobatics.
The great Elias.
All right. Anything else?
Elias is probably gonna just look at Marza and Bati and say, take good care of them.
This
And
might be better for, I don't know, like a DM or private conversation, but I think I would, after the days going by and the events that happened to me in the fight, I would kind of meditate on the book, and I guess I would be asking, what's the path? And I don't know if you want to do that now or later.
Sorry, that was not meant for the puppet. I'm sorry. Just repeat one more time for me, Craggle.
Basically, I would like to over the course of the days that we're traveling, probably before that final night at Baldur's Gate, I would take kind of a quiet moment to myself to ask I don't actually have that tome. Or yeah, I do. I do. I have the tome myself. Yeah, so I'd ask the tome, what is the path that it referenced?
Okay. So you would do that, what, every night? Or would it be like about this time that you would...
Probably in like the day or two before arrival at the hill over Baldur's Gate.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll message you.
Cool. For anyone who might have caught a glimpse, you would see Craggle at one point either like take up position behind a tree or maybe in the back of a car where he hopes someone's noticing him, and just kind of really concentrating on this very ornate book he always carries on his back.
I mean, I'll probably try to look for it. I don't know if I'll see it. Not
Just
it.
I'm keeping my eye on you a lot.
Me?
No, on Craggle.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm genuinely trying to keep an eye on Cragglehone and Igvis as we get closer to Baldur's Gate, because after kind of seeing that it's not just Hone that's in the fists. Not that I'm fully questioning, because I still trust you guys, but it's just kind of like an unease, you know what I mean? After our encounter with the other fists. Like I was reminded of how bad things in Baldur's Gate actually were.
I'll throw out there would be times in downtime that you would see me just reading the book casually. It's not like I'm like keeping this all in my back 24/7 and all of a sudden I have it, but I would be having it closed in front of me, just kind of concentrating on it now, like kind of just looking at it deep in thought kind of thing, which maybe your character would take notice of.
I mean, I am still investigating, so it's very possible that I would.
I'll leave it up to you.
Okay, I'll say that I see it for now, but I don't know the significance of it. I just kind of make a note of
Sure.
that's odd. You know what I mean? Like that's a weird thing.
Right. And that'd be it for me.
I think everyone else said they were good, right?
Did we lose DM?
Nope, I was just typing.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. So, question now, out of character. So, it's 12:30. How late are you guys good playing to? I know we started late, so I'm good to play late. But it's up to you as far as how.
I'm kind of afraid of the consequences of a fight breaking up in Baldur's Gate, but I'm kind of down to keep going if there's a fight.
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean-
you have, don't you work tomorrow?
No, shut up.
So kind of give me a time frame. Like how late exactly are you guys good playing?
I'm down to keep going, but I'd rather not go till like 2 or I guess 3 for you guys. Again.
I'm at 10:30 right now, so I could go for a couple more hours, honestly.
Yeah, I think like 2 hours would be like a good. I'd be down for 2 hours.
2 hours?
Same. Yeah, 2.5 hours I'll be good for.
Can we take a 15?
Yeah, so I was going to say, if we're good to play 2 hours, then I'd say, then we can keep going here. As long as everybody is good with that.
Craggle, did you want to take a 15 now? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, and we'll, let's take a break at this point. So let's take like 10, 15 minutes here. We'll regroup, and then we'll continue on.
Great.
All right. Awesome. See you guys in a second.
See ya.
See it.
All right. And we are back. Back again. We are back again. So everybody is on their way after waking up on day 10 of our journey from Elturel to Baldur's Gate, and we have finally arrived. I am going to activate another map, and we are going to
You've activated my draft
change
card.
the tone. So you wake up and you make your way towards Baldur's Gate.
What side of the map are we on?
You are on the bottom right. So you make your way up the last part of the coastway, down here, bottom right of the map, where I'm pinging, if you can see my ping because it's so small. Towards the outer city, farmland turns into small villages and more civilized areas as Baldur's Gate draws nearer and nearer. The refugees, your caravan, pass by various small hamlets, and eventually you arrive at Rivington. So this is the map of Baldur's Gate. Those of you from Baldur's Gate, very familiar with this layout and this map and the different districts. We're going to use this map, and I'm going to make it accessible to you as long as we're in Baldur's Gate, and we'll start adding map pins to it as things go along, so you can kind of keep track of where things are and more about them and keep notes on them. But for right now, your map is empty. So Rivington is this small town here in the bottom right. I am going to change scenes once again to load Rivington. And while this loads for you, hopefully relatively soon, I need to know something. So instead of putting you guys on the map since you're traveling in the caravan, I am instead going to utilize these 2 refugee caravan carts, and they are tokens that you have access to see. And I want to know who's driving which cart, because I'm going to give that person control to move these caravan tokens. So remind me who is in which cart.
It is. I know that it's Kel, me, Marza, and Elias in the first cart, and I believe it's Craggle,
Wasn't Igvis
Igvis,
with
and...
us?
What?
Wasn't Igvis with us, or
No, Igvis.
Craggle.
I was
Okay.
before the interrogation.
gotcha?
Okay, let me just set that up here. So in the first cart, you said it was Vati, Kel, Elias, and who else?
It's essentially Flaming Fist
Me.
in one, non-Flaming Fist in the other.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
kind of after the
Makes it easy.
interrogation, we
So-
separated.
Kel, you would be driving the cart. Are we still sticking with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I can also command animals and stuff too. So if something should arise,
Okay, so I am going to do this, and we will do, let's see, we have, make sure I get all the right people here. This should, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the other one will. Who's driving the other cart?
I'll take control of that one.
Okay.
What is Hone's animal handling?
I don't know, but he's not here, so...
Should we be seeing nothing right now?
Yeah, we don't need tokens yet.
That and that, and we'll put toned on that one as well. Okay. We're gonna put this here. Put this here. Make sure for me, because I wasn't sure if this was going to work, that you can see these carts on the map, and the map has loaded for you.
I can see the
Yep.
cards, but only a little, like a corner of the map. I think that's expected.
Correct. That is expected. And you should have control of the carts. Caravan 1, you should have control of Kel, and Caravan 2, you should have control of Igvis.
Yeah.
Whoa, buddy.
And you can use control in order to move it. So, rotate it if you so will.
Probably stay in order.
No. I love that. I keep it like this. We're just Tokyo drifting into Riverton.
I honestly think that
quick
we should
question.
go in front of them just because we're the ones who can
Sure,
like vouch for
sure.
them because we're the
Right.
first.
out of character, how do you rotate and how do you do the
So click your
drag
token.
and move?
Click your token. And then while it's clicked, hold control and use the mouse wheel on your mouse button, and that will rotate the token. If you hold shift as well, it'll rotate a little faster. In order to do the little thing where you can kind of move it however you want, you hit your token, select your token, and then hold control and drag on the map, and that will create a line. And then you click wherever you want, and then click space, and then that will move in that line, whatever direction that you made. Okay, as I'm doing that though, so as you're rounding the corner here, you can go ahead and stop where your caravan is right there, because you are met and blocked by, I'm even going to move you back just a tad there, a crowd.
Before I do it, would I know that standing up and yelling "step aside" for the flaming fists, that would be an effective way to move a crowd out of the way?
Yes, it would.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna spread my wings and make way for the flaming fists.
So I am going to read a description for you.
Okay.
So you actually know what you're walking into and what this looks like. So this is a small, self-contained village. As you come down out of the mountain around the corner, and it's a village of anglers and river-powered mills. Rivington is jam-packed with more traffic than the village can handle. An inn called the Chunky Barracuda is right in front of you, and is inundated by a crowd of humans frantically seeking entrance. A younger man in overalls with a lazy eye and short disheveled hair stands outside the inn on top of this little balcony, trying to shoo people away. The inn's all full capacity. We can't take any more of you. Please seek asylum elsewhere for the time being and check back tomorrow for more vacancies. And there is this big crowd right there outside of the inn as he's trying to shoo people away. And people are like, please, let us in. They're turning us away. We have nowhere to go. Please, I don't have money to make it across the bridge. There's no way that I can make it. We're tired. We're hungry.
At this point is when I'll probably do my yell.
All right. Give me an intimidate check at advantage.
Fuck yeah. 19 and 18. Of course, now I get good rolls.
Nice. Yeah, so you repeat again what you shout out exactly?
So I'd stand up, probably like at the front of this cart next to whoever's Igvis who's driving. I'll spread my wings really wide. I'll go ahead and use thaumaturgy to make my eyes glow purple a little bit brighter than normal. And I'll yell out, make way for the flaming fists.
And you hear people go, ah! And they will start dispersing in droves down the street. So a couple go down this street over there to the east, and then a couple make their way down to the west up ahead, as they all kind of scatter away from the inn and leave your path clear. And the sign on this location here, this big building, says the Chunky Barracuda, and the gentleman up top just nods to you before walking back inside up top. And as you pass, there's a little board here that says the Rivington notice boards. As you pass by that inn, that seems to have some paper stuck to it, but otherwise you can continue down that way. The road veers off here to the left, it veers off to the right, and going straight you can see a bridge in front of you. And it looks like there is some traffic that is a large amount of traffic that is coming out of this road here to the left from that road and then turning and moving this way towards the bridge.
Just glancing at it as we caravan by, can I read anything on the notice board?
You can't really read anything unless you were to like get off and kind of get
Okay.
up there and check it out. But
Yeah, no, some other time.
I went a little further than I want to do an accident.
Is this traffic blocking our passage to the bridge?
it is not currently blocking traffic to the bridge. You could, if you want, continue all the way onto the bridge as people are like frantically moving to get across.
I'm gonna go ahead and go on kind of like a sentry mode, keeping an eye around for anybody trying to get on the cart or cling to the cart or anything like that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask Hone to as well.
Okay. Sounds good. And you see other people who also have horses that are also entering, bringing their horses on the bridge and across, and then this big crowd and throng of people that seem to be coming from the west of town. A couple people with their horses, you notice, made their way towards the inn, as well as the crowd begins to gather again around the inn's front doors. But you make your way onto the bridge otherwise, and you continue on.
We will be back, Rivington, but I have a
Yeah,
mission.
I will see you again, Rivington.
Okay. So this bridge, two great bridges meet at a tall rocky island that rises from the middle of the Chianthar River. Buildings and merchant stalls line the sides of both bridges, making it impossible to see the river from the narrow, congested roadway that cuts between those structures. The traffic is worsened by the large influx of individuals who arrived by boat. As you see them being directed by the Flaming Fist to disembark at Rivington and then cross the bridge to get to Baldur's Gate. So now that you're going across the bridge and you start that, you can see off to the west as these boats are kind of going into this harbor here to the west, and you see Flaming Fist on the docks disembarking and checking passengers and directing them. Which is where you assume that big crowd was coming from. About a quarter mile across the bridge stands a large fortress situated atop an island in the middle of the river. Wooden drawbridges connect the two bridges to the keep, and flags of Baldur's Gate and the Flaming Fists wave proudly above the fortress. So you will know this, all of you who are members of the Flaming Fist or live in the city, as Worm's Rock, which is a Flaming Fist fortress in the middle of this bridge. And to answer your question before, Craggle, you know that Blaze Mukar is in command of this fortress in the center of the bridge. Let's as you get closer and closer to Worm's Rock, the congestion gets worse and worse. Buildings basically align either end of Worm's Crossing, and this isn't just a bridge. It's actually a full-fledged city on a bridge. So these buildings actually cling to either side of Worm's Crossing, and eventually you lose sight of the river itself as buildings just congest on either side, and the path narrows more and more as there's less and less room on the bridge to actually move with your cart. So at this point, you believe you would need to get off of your cart and kind of guide the cart to effectively navigate the narrowness of the bridge and the throng of people.
I'll go ahead and dismount and start making my way.
I'll continue getting the horses from the caravan.
All right. We are going to switch maps here again. And yes, you will see something in a moment. Once I put your tokens on the map. Okay, I think you should all be on the map there. So I won't put the cart on the map for now. We'll assume that the cart is right behind you as Igvis jumps into the river.
I'm flying over the river. It's fine.
So as you come up upon this absolutely massive fortress, it gets really, really crowded, like elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, with people on this bridge. The bridge is actually lowered so that you can get across to the massive doors. And there is a flaming fist, quite a few of them, that are loading onto the map as we speak.
Oh, I see. We've walked a bit too far.
Everybody should back up just a little.
Yeah, no, we're actually assaulting the castle. That's what we're here to do. Okay, maybe further. I feel like we're just being surrounded.
So all of these flaming fists sit along this bridge, and they begin to funnel people in. And when you get close to the door, as the line starts to funnel, eventually it becomes a line of people, one by one, individual by individual. And this door is open, and there is a gentleman here that one by one, as you come up, greets you. You can clearly see that his rank is that of a gauntlet as you come up, and he questions everybody. So who is kind of guiding the horses of the caravan? You would see that your friend... So actually, you know what? Let's ask this, because this is actually a better question. The rest of the refugees, would your plan be to be leading the caravan instead of being in the back as you have been on the journey? Or would you continue to be behind and let the caravan go ahead?
I think it would be smarter if we led the caravan, since we
'cause
have
you-
people who have business in the city.
Yeah, because we have a combination of Fist members and people who have residency in the city, so I feel like we should probably be front.
They're all just refugees at this point.
Yeah, Kel's gonna pick up the rear.
Okay. So go ahead and put yourselves in a single file line, and
I'd probably take up the lead to the guard, I would think.
Just real quick, out of character, I think we're missing Elias.
I just don't think
Elias
Elias moved
doesn't
his
remove
token.
him.
Elias was here when we started. Oh, there's Hound.
He's still there, Elias?
Oh no.
Yo.
There he goes.
Well, I moved him.
Oh.
But,
sorry.
Sorry about that. I was away from keyboard.
So the gentleman the gauntlet on the other side of the door as you come in. Single file says, 5 gold pieces. That's the toll.
For one individual?
Per person.
Is it for Fist members as well?
Everyone. No exceptions.
Can I incite that?
Yeah, go for it. I mean,
Oh God.
well, I was just gonna say, actually don't even need to incite that because you're a member of the Flaming Fist,
Right, okay.
and you're in Baldur's Gate. That you're not exempt to any of the gate tolls,
Okay.
Unless it's on like official Flaming Fist business or you're like stationed somewhere. So, for instance, those who are stationed here at Worms Rock. If you were stationed here, you obviously wouldn't pay the toll as you're coming in and out. But if you're somebody who's stationed in the lower city, for instance, or another place, you would be paying this toll.
Is the fact that I'm reporting back from a mission directly would count as like a deployment exemption?
Yeah, it could.
Sweet. Okay. So, right. I'm going to point at Hone. I'm going to point at Igvis. We were out on business with Ravengard when El Terrell fell. We're reporting back.
With Ravengard, you say?
And I'll nod.
Say, I think Flame Zaj of the Basilisk Gate will want to speak to you right away. Go.
Zod?
Be on your way. Zaj.
Okay. Yeah, I'll beckon Hone and Igvis with me, and we'll go on.
Let
Look,
me clarify, though, too. Do you have your badge out? You don't have your badge out, because you don't have
I
a
don't have
badge.
my badge
Okay,
on.
so-
I have my badge.
I am Craggle.
So let me retcon that for a second, because I forgot that you no longer have your badge or identification. So you'll say, "Where's your badge? Identification."
It got torn off in combat. Do I have any paperwork?
No, you wouldn't have paperwork given your
Right.
backstory.
Oh, right.
Really,
Minor illusion of a badge on his chest.
Well, no, not in front of him. Don't do that.
you. Okay, Elias,
Oh,
what are you casting? Trying to cast here?
If he's objecting to it, I'm not doing it.
Okay, so you wouldn't have identification other than your badge.
Okay.
That was your identification.
Okay, yeah, I'll just say it got torn off in battle, and I'll kind of turn my head to Igvis to vouch for me.
I'll give them my badge.
And Hone,
Say, he's my commanding officer. There was a lot of nonsense that happened.
and Hone has his as well.
Okay,
Cone's like is displaying his.
and he says, "All right." He kind of glares at you for a second as he's kind of thinking through it. But when Igvis shows his badge and Hone shows his badge, and they both vouch for you, he will ask, "And who is your CO, Craggle?"
I already forgot the name because I didn't write it down.
Go ahead and make it up again, and I will write it down.
It was something with an S. It was like Salal. I will do Salal. We'll make him Middle Eastern.
Salal. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna write that down this time.
Manip Salal.
Yeah.
Says, "All right, you may pass. Be on your way. Flame Zaj."
Yep.
And we would already know where Flame Zaj is, yeah?
You would know definitely where the Basilisk Gate is.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily know Flame Zaj personally, though.
ZAGG.
Zodge.
Thank you.
So Craggle, Igvis, you can pass. Honed will also pass. And as you guys kind of go into this, you pass, two more gauntlets, and you go down this long hallway. You see there's a door here on this wall, and along this hallway there are arrow slits on both sides of the hallway. that are heavily guarded should you get out of line. And then the hall continues on down in this direction to another gate. And so he lets you three pass first and waits until you make it all the way across.
Probably just chill here for now while they RP.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's go. Let's not tarry along, as they tell you to continue moving all the way through to the other side.
Okay, following home now.
And after that, another group from the other side you see enters and is asked basically the same questions. Is told that the price of 5 copper pieces is the toll, and they pay up and they move to go the other direction. And
So it's 5
to
gold.
leave and 5 to come
Wait,
in.
5 copper?
5 copper. Did I say
Oh.
gold before?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
said 5 gold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
5
substantial.
copper. I was
Yeah.
like,
Sorry, it's 5
Oh.
copper. 5 copper.
Okay, that's far more reasonable. Oh my god.
Yeah.
imagine.
Gonna be honest, I thought we were getting shook down.
$500 a piece.
I think that's why, in particular, he was just like, "Can I do insight? That seems like an excessive amount."
And they move on. Vati, you see another group come from the gate and out the gate, and then he moves and looks at you, and he says, 5 copper. That's the toll.
So the rest of the caravan's gonna have to pay to get in, right?
Correct. Per person.
How many people are there in the caravan?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are quite a few.
A lot of them will have enough to pay for
How
this.
many
Do
copper in the
babies
bowl?
count?
The
How many
baby
copper
will be
bowl?
charged. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4,
Would 2 gold cover
5,
it?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 members of the caravan, so 5 silver pieces basically in total for.
So Elias is gonna hand the guy a gold and say, "I'd like to pay for the caravan if that's all right."
He says, "Not your turn yet. Wait." So right now, Vati, you're in front of him.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'm gonna do the same thing Elias is gonna do. I pull out a gold piece and I go, "This is for the caravan behind us, as well as the 3 people behind me. Should cover the toll. You can keep the change."
Says, "Very well. You may pass." And he moves off to the side and he lets you pass with the rest of the caravan.
Elias is going to try to hand Bati a gold piece now.
I will take that gold piece, so that I don't have to adjust my gold amount. Honestly.
And again, you guys see here down at the bottom of the screen, there's a door and then a long hallway here that extends with arrow slits on either side. You can go ahead and move yourselves across the way. Craggle, Craggle and Igvis, give me just roll me a flat d20. Interesting.
I can't believe I've gotten 2 ones. Kill me.
Don't say that to the DM. That's it. It seems. I thought we established that we didn't want to have a bad set.
At least we're not in combat. Flipping ridiculous.
And now there's a dragon. See, this is what you do by saying things like this.
Also, just with all the people, I want to be like keeping an eye out for pickpockets.
All right. Okay. So you guys make it all the way across. I think we have everybody over there on the other side. Along with the caravan. And as the caravan is finally going through the gates, the gauntlet on this side calls out and says, by the way, the no animals are allowed within the city, so you're going to want to find a place to store those animals and the wagons.
Are I able to communicate that to Vasha easily without wasting too much time?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pass that to Vasha.
And you would know that no animals larger than a peacock are actually allowed inside the city. So
That's quite a large animal.
yeah, it's not. So the caravan itself wouldn't actually be able to make it into the city at all. The horses wouldn't be allowed in the city. You would have to find a stable somewhere in order to hold your stuff.
I'll just go ahead and say, as far as I'm concerned, it's Vasha's caravan now, and she can handle it. But if anybody else wants to help her, then they're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys make it across. Craggle, as you, are kind of making your way across and talking about this, you notice that the pouch holding your money is missing.
I'm just gonna reach down and grab it and be like, oh fuck, I guess I'm home.
And you no longer have the gold that you had on your person.
Any gold. 0.
Any gold. Your whole pouch is missing. It looks like it has been sliced from wherever you had it hanging. Where would you have your pouch, by the way?
It would just be on my hip, essentially. I'm gonna go ahead and look around if I had fat chance, but do I see kid running away? Do I see anything?
Roll me a perception check.
Bada boom, bada bang.
As we come up, is it possible for me to also roll a perception check to see if there's a kid running away?
Well, yeah, if you come up and Craggle mentions that this happened and then you look around,
would see me,
you could,
hand my hip and just be oh,
go ahead and give me a perception check. Yeah, you don't see anything, Craggle. You're just looking. There's a massive crowd here.
Am I allowed to roll as well?
I was gonna say I'd do the same, but I think Vati's got it.
Yeah, I got a dirty 20. So
yeah, Vati, as you look into the crowd, you don't see anybody running away per se, but what you do see is a small girl who approaches you. You kind of lock eyes, and the small girl seems lost and confused.
Feels like a trap. And she's got from what I can see, she's got nothing in her hands or anything.
Yeah, she's got nothing in her hands, wearing tattered clothing, bruised and dirty. Small girl, maybe 8 years old. And she approaches you as she sees your eyes too and walks up to you. She says, "Please, mister, can you spare a few copper pieces so that I can make the toll to cross the bridge? I'm all alone, and my father and my mother and my brother, they were killed in an attack by goblins 3 days ago. I'm looking to get across the bridge into Rivington in order to reunite with my Auntie Hilda."
So as she's talking, I grip my coin purse a little tight, and I pull out a gold piece, and I just kind of give it to her in that same way that you would nervously give someone that you know that it could be either or, and just hand her a gold piece, and then kind of just silently nod to her and keep trying to walk.
Yeah, and just thank you so much, mister. Now I can see my Auntie Hilda, and she'll scurry off. And
nearby for this?
Are you what?
Are we close enough?
Yeah,
to
you're
hear
all
this?
nearby.
I'm gonna insight that orphan.
Sure, you can.
Can
insight
I?
her.
I was
Can
also
I-
inciting the orphan.
You said I just see a crowd, but do I
nat
see that
20.
happen?
Yeah, you see that.
Okay. Either way, I'm gonna telepathically message to the little girl in a almost like pleasant voice. Like it's not gonna be my voice or like a scary voice, but it's just gonna be like keep that hidden.
And you see her kind of jump for a second and look around her, and then continue to scurry off. Yeah, Igvis, you see no deceit in what she said, I guess, with your insight.
What about Elias?
And you see... roll me a perception, everybody.
You want to just use mine from before, or I get another one?
Yeah, make another one.
Big
This is
oof.
separate.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, as you kind of see this happen, Marza, and then continue looking and watching the girl as she moves into the crowd, you see
I'm gonna
her.
suddenly gesture to them. She's lying.
And Marza, this suspicion is kind of confirmed by you as you see her approach somebody else and give the exact same story to another person.
I mean,
She made her bread. Welcome to Baldur's Gate.
she needs the money either way. Like, she needs it for something. Whether she has to give that to somebody else at the end of the day, she's kind of just working. Mars is not really too worried about it.
Okay.
Mars is about to do the same thing without words.
And you're the only
He's
one
no
who
ru-
notices that, Marza, so everybody else kind of she fades into the crowd.
I'm gonna continue on my path to the Phoenix Gate.
Basilisk.
The Basilisk Gate.
Basilisk.
Yeah, I'm
And
missing.
I'm gonna say to Vati though, yeah, she just, you lost a gold there.
You got the.
I don't think you're too
I
worried
mean,
about it.
lost,
It's,
gave away. It doesn't matter at this point. The gold's gone, as far as I'm concerned.
Alright.
In fact, it was the gold coin Elias gave me. Quite a joke, really.
I'll tell her to thank Elias for his contribution.
The great Elias is eternally, giving. I guess.
You get? Did you say you guessed?
Elias said that in character.
So the traffic funnels across the bridge at the end of Worm's Crossing into another crowded small village, which you should be able to see on the map now. An innumerable amount of roadside altars dedicated to a diversity of gods is overshadowed by the throng of travelers moving through the city to continue on to the northeast. A large mini mountain of yellow granite hugs the western part of the town and rises high above the outer city slums. And so you see again, there's just this big crowd of people in the road as you're finally, though, able to get back on your carts, you feel. And as the area widens and you get off towards the edge of the bridge and you believe that you can start moving your caravan and the horses again. Provided that is what you want to do, actually jump inside and move along with the horses.
Don't the horses have to go somewhere else?
So he said that they're actually not allowed inside the city gates. So when he talks to you, he tells you that means
Oh, okay,
the-
we're not
the
like all the
Basilisk
way
Gate,
in yet.
basically.
Okay.
Nope.
And as you kind of move there, whoever moved that cart in the front,
That would be me.
So you see off to the left here. It looks like there is on the western part of town is an inn, and it seems to be overrun by travelers seeking room and board. Just to be hastily shooed away by two large half-orc bodyguards that stand outside that tavern and inn. But otherwise, you see the same thing that I described. Along this road, there's just a number of those altars on the side of the road. And you notice that there's just a variety of faiths and gods. Make me a religion check, anybody, as you're kind of running through this area.
I'm sorry, you said which check?
Religion.
I only know one religion, unfortunately.
It doesn't look like that any of us got good rolls.
Yeah. You guys notice a bunch of statues that are on the side of the road as you guys are kind of dead focused on where you're going.
Ooh, look at that one. He's got neat arms.
Would I know if any were for Tamora, I guess?
I'll actually even say the dice know that I'm actually even not paying attention. I'm particularly kind of averting my eyes from them all and almost not, I won't say open disgust, but maybe aggravation.
Elias, you do not see one at the moment for Timora. If you particularly look for it.
Really quickly, which way is it? Left or right from here is the Basilisk Gate?
So it looks like everybody is headed to the northeast. The main throng of people, the main flow. And as you kind of round that corner this way, there's also a path down south. And you see that towards the end of that path, there is another large building, and there is a woman outside of that building dressed in long white garments with blonde hair. Seems to be maybe some sort of priestess of some sort, and there is another crowd of people, and she seems to be outside talking to the crowd and consoling them.
Does she resemble the woman we saw in the goblin camp? In maybe her garments?
She does
had
not.
red hair.
She does not. She
Okay.
looks like this tension builds. Show.
And she's just consoling people?
Yeah, from where you guys are, you can't really tell exactly, but you can tell by kind of her mannerisms, maybe, that she seems to be patting them on the back, consoling them. You see people crying as a crowd is gathered over there.
Good luck saving them all.
Okay. Which way is the crowd continuing to go, basically? Is it still upward?
They continue to go up to the northeast and eventually out of this town.
More towns to come visit later after we're done with our reporting. And
We are a focused group. We are getting into town. That is.
There are plenty of places for cultists to hide around here, though, so, yeah.
Again, this is why we're going straight through. We'll get to it later at some point.
I have a thing I need to do, and I have to get into town to do it.
I have to get into town to my investigation office, so...
I need to get there before the other bards get to the gutters.
Right. Bard.
Definitely a bard.
And
And what else would I be with all my random illusion spells?
and
And healing.
we are going to. All right, so your intention is pretty much to make it all the way to the Basilisk Gate, right? As quickly as possible?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just moseying.
Oh, right. Unless confronted, would you kind of stop anywhere or try to stop anywhere before then?
I would split off only if on the way there we were passing by. What was it? Bloomton? One second. Oh, Brampton. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's inside the city.
Okay, then I would be heading straight. until
Okay,
I got there.
so I'm going to do this. Let's kind of skip this portion as I just kind of show you what some of these places look like. So you travel through this next area, and you travel along this this road all the way, completely straight across. You recognize this as Whitkeep. There's this very large white building, humongous, in the center of this village, this town. And again, you see large people gathering outside of that building, seeking asylum. You notice that in this town, there seems to be unusual races here: Drow, Sverfneblin, races that are very unusual to Faerun. Just mulling about, going about their business in this town. You continue on after that, and you move through So's Foot, and I'll actually retcon that a little. You actually move through So's Foot first, then Wetkeep. But So's Foot, when you move through this area, there is some stables that maybe down the road you can see, followed by what seems to be in the distance a small mini market of sorts up there. And you continue moving on, doing your things. You move through Whitkeep.
Should we try to leave the horses somewhere, like at the stables? Or do the others know of a place where we could leave them further ahead?
So you would know, by the way, anybody who is from the city would know that there is a very popular stable in Stony Eyes, which is right before the Basilisk Gate. And the reason that it is so popular is that the Greymore stables and menagerie have locations on Blackgate and in Stony Eyes. Blackgate being the location towards the north of Baldur's Gate. And most people who come through give their pack animals and horses and wagons and stuff to Greymore stables and menagerie to hold, because they also ferry animals around the city, taking a longer path, and then eventually to Blackgate, so that people can move through the city, go up north, up through Blackgate, and then retrieve their animals to continue on along the tradeway, the coastway. It's also pretty popular because they have a museum of sorts of all kinds of exotic animals and magical beasts and creatures, which attracts people from all over, and costs mere copper pieces to actually view. And it's the largest stable by far in the city. Otherwise, if you wanted to drop your horses off at a lesser known stable, you see those all along the way here.
I'm gonna let Kel know basically about the famous stable, and probably direct him to go park the caravan wagon and horses there.
Okay. So again, just showing you what you see here. You continue moving on because that's in Stony Eyes, which is towards the end of all these districts. As you move on through Northchapel. And Northchapel is a rather quiet section of the outer city. And you see a lot more larger apartment buildings, but otherwise it's mostly residential, and you don't see giant throngs of people really crowding everywhere here in Northchapel. Just the main kind of group that continues to move along this path from east to west and into the next section of Stony Eyes.
We have so many maps we're just running.
Would I be familiar enough to know where to go to report to the guy? Gosh, so many open windows. Flames Lodge.
Yeah, so you would want to go to the Basilisk Gate, which
Okay, yeah,
is
so-
the entrance to the lower city, the main city of Baldur's Gate.
So do I, considering what they all gleamed with the stables, do I feel like it might be better to leave the horses here and walk to the gate?
You think that Greymoor Stables is a good location because it's Stony Eyes is the district that the Basilisk Gate is in.
Great.
Okay. So, you could leave them at Greymoor Stables and then continue on towards the Basilisk Gate.
So I'll kind of nudge Igvis and just be like, let's store up the horses. We can walk from here.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll take him to the Stone Eyes stable.
Okay. So you get to Greymoor Stables, and I won't bother putting your tokens on the map at the moment. Yeah, you walk up to the stables, and it seems rather busy. It's a very large building. It's this building right here that I'm pinging towards the east. Large pens completely walled off, and then there are two buildings down here within those pens as well, which you think hold more animals inside those buildings. But the main entrance to the doors would be over here along the roadside, and it's open. You could easily open the door to enter it.
So I'll probably approach some sort of counterman or teller or someone who would take in the horses for me, make a deal.
Yeah, and there's a man there at the counter that greets you. Hello, how are you doing? My name is Ubis Greymoor. What can I do for you?
I'll put my hands in my sleeves in front of me and bow. Craggle, Gauntlet of the Flaming Fist. I'll point back at the horses. These horses are on official business for the Flaming Fist under direct supervision of Alder Ravengard, and they need storage for a few days at least.
I see. Well, of course we can absolutely do that. The price for storage is 1 gold piece per day here at the Greymoor Stables.
Oof. Well,
Per horse.
I don't have any money, Igvis. I was hoping that they were free.
Kel's going to walk up and hand over the gold for, let's start with 3 days.
So 3 days, 2 horses would be 6 gold pieces.
Wouldn't it be between 4 and 8 horses?
True. Sorry, you have. Actually, it would be a lot more. You have four. You have 4 caravans, each with 2 horses. So you have 8 horses, which is 8 gold pieces per day. So 24 gold pieces for 3 days to house 8 horses.
Okay, on that note, I'm going to pay half.
Okay, so
But-
Somebody else can pay the other half.
I'll cover the other half because I have a good portion of gold.
Okay, so 12 gold pieces each you can take off of your character sheets, and Ubis will say, "Splendid, splendid! Yes, yes, yes. Please direct your horses and wagon this way. I will have my hired hands here take care of them." And you see a couple of half orcs come out, and they start to take the reins of the horses and the caravan as you get out, and Vasha and the rest of everybody starts to take their gear out of the caravan, what they need to continue on, and they move the horses around the corner here and into this stable where the 8 horses kind of roam free after being tagged with a number, and he hands a ticket to whoever wants to hold on to the ticket for the horses. So who is going to take this ticket?
That'll be me. Just in case it needs to be billed longer for them staying here, I'll take it. I'll keep it safe in my office.
Absolutely. The ticket number is 7571, and here is your paperwork. It is a pleasure doing business with you.
And with you as well.
Can I interest you in anything else today?
No, I think your services are quite enough. Thank you.
Kel's actually going to ask if he has any horses for sale.
Ah, you're looking for a new horse, are you? Why, yes, of course I do. I have the largest collection of animals in all of Faerun. I'm just kidding, not all of Faerun, but pretty close to it. Yes, of course, I would be happy to provide you with a riding horse. Did you have any particular preference on the breed, the size, the color?
No preference on the color or breed. Just a steadfast horse of a large size.
And he points out a horse that's in the in the pasture, and he says, "This is Bruce, one of the best horses that I have. Bruce will only cost you 80 gold pieces in order to purchase."
That's a bit steep. Would you take anything on trade?
Like what?
Great question. Aren't we leaving horses here? You can take one of them.
I mean, I don't think do the caravan horses belong to the people of the caravan?
Vosh is leaving. Just ask her if you can have them.
They do.
Okay.
None of them are Vosh's. She showed up late. We actually don't know who owns the caravan,
Right,
but questions for later. You have horses at your disposal.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I have the ticket to check them out, so like, you'll be staying with me.
Well, thank you, good sir. Maybe at another time.
All right, very well. But Bruce will be waiting for you. Hopefully, and as long as another buyer doesn't come along, of course.
Kel's gonna walk away and kind of look hopeful.
Perfect. Okay, and you continue on by foot, and you eventually arrive at the Basilisk Gate. And what I think we'll do, given the time, is I'm
Roll
gonna
initiative.
I'm
Turns
gonna
out,
yeah I'm gonna place you on the map, just so we can give you kind of like a sneak peek. But I think this will be a good place to end, given the situation. I think this is an appropriate place for us to end, given our time limits and the situation. But just to kind of describe what you see as you enter the Basilisk Gate, or the area of the Basilisk Gate, you see multiple flaming fist guards up in the distance, and you see, more particularly, a man who looks like this towards the gate that seems to be in charge. And the gates are currently closed shut. Nobody is traveling through them, and there is a large crowd of people gathered that are screaming at this man in charge. On either side of the Basilisk Gate are hundreds of tents and campfires, as you can tell people are camping out, and it seems like refugees have taken their spot right outside the Basilisk Gate, camping there. As you approach and you see this, a fight breaks out between the people that have gathered and are yelling at this man in charge, as they storm the gate, and the Flaming Fist members have to jump into action. And we're going to leave it on that note, on that kind of cliffhanger there, I think, with this session, and pick that up from there next session.
okay, works for me.
Full
Ditto.
blown riot.
That's right. Fight the power. Go.
All right, if everybody wants to say goodbye to the stream.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hasta la vista. Goodbye.